Hello, and welcome back to episode 6 of recreating Baldur's Gate 3's camera inside Unreal Engine. Now, the last episode we managed to polish up the player camera, and in this episode we're going to add just a little bit of feedback for the player. It's less to do with the camera, and it's kind of an episode you can skip, but right now you can see the characters running around, and we don't really have any indication of where I'm clicking here. So we're just going to give a bit of player feedback with that ring that appears whenever you click on the ground for the player to traverse to. So this episode has nothing to do with the camera blueprint this time. We're going to work inside the controller, but first of all, I'm just going to make this in the camera folder. We're going to make a new blueprint, and we're going to call this, make it an actor, call it BP Destination Marker. And in this, all we need is to add let's just do a cylinder. We could do a static mesh and make it a cylinder, but yeah, actually, that's probably better, but we'll stick with this for now. And in my tests, I will say that the cylinder hasn't got the best UV mapping for this. If you have the skill, you can kind of make your own cylinder for it, but I'm just going to use one that already has UVs matched up for what I want to use the material for. So we're going to choose S_EV_fog volume. So this is hacky. Very hacky. Compile and save that. We're going to lock the scale and reduce it to 0.5. And we're going to rotate this 180 degrees, so it's upside down. And I'm going to move that up 180. And compile and save that. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a new folder for materials inside the content browser. And we're going to make a material, if you right click and go material, called master material mm_destination marker. Open this up. And again, I'm kind of hacking this. If you have textures that you want to use, please feel free to use them instead of what we're about to do here. But again, this is just hacking it in. I'm going to hold down 3 and left click to add a constant vector 3 in. We're going to hook this up to the base color as well as the emissive color. And we're going to make all these values 1. Let's make it white. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on the destination marker, and we're going to make this a translucent material. So it's got opacity. And default lit is all good. Next thing we want to do is we want to add a texture sample. And the texture we want to be referencing here is called, if I remember correctly, gradient texture 0, which doesn't have the best gradient. It's not fully black to white. If you have a fully black to white gradient texture that you can create yourself, all the better. But I'm just using what we have here for simplicity's sake, and we're just going to multiply the ever-loving heck out of it. So we're going to do power. And the exponential, we're going to plug in something crazy like 18. So if we look at that value now, it's much more pronounced. The power basically just multiplies the value itself over and over and over to get kind of something more higher contrast, so to speak. And we're going to plug that into the opacity. And before we do that, actually, we're going to multiply this. No, we're not. We're going to just plug that straight in. Save and apply. Or apply and save, if you want to do it the correct way. And apply that to this sphere. Sphere, cylinder, destination marker. What do you know? Look at that. Beautiful. And what we will do as well is you can currently kind of only see one side of this, so we're going to make this a two-sided material. Apply and save. And now you'll be able to see the actual ring in its entirety. Much nicer. So, there's that. Perfect. And what we want to do is in the controller, we want to spawn this in and move it as we're moving around. So, let's get the content game BG3 player controller. And what we're going to do is we're going to spawn this cylinder in at the very start, and we're just going to move the location around as we click. So we're not spawning in multiple, we're not dealing with, destroying actors or anything like that. We just have one and we manipulate it. So we're already spawning in the camera. We're going to do the same thing for the cylinder. So spawn actor from class, and we're going to make a transform. Not relative transform, sorry. Make transform. And we're fine leaving these all default because we're just spawning it in at world 0, and then we can do what we want with it. So in the class, we want to make this the destination marker. Compile, and we want to make that a variable so we can reference it later. Destination marker. Nice and simple. And whenever we click, let's see, whenever we do select and we have a valid place to move the character to, all we're going to do is we're going to set the location of that destination marker to wherever we click. So set actor location to that. And we might also, it's not necessary, and I'm not sure if they actually do this in Baldur's Gate, but we're going to change its rotation kind of based on the normal of the environment that we place it on. So to do that, what we're going to do is instead of get actor location, we're going to do set actor location and rotation. Hook that all up. So true to that and that to that. The goal remains the same. We're always using the location of where we click. And for this, we want to use the same thing for the new location. And then the normal, we want to make rot from Z, I think. It's either X, Y, or Z. I think it's Z. And we're going to just plug that into the new rotation. Compile and save. And now we've got a sphere located whenever we click. Although, so that's kind of funny. What you're seeing is the hit marker is hitting itself. So what we want to do is we want to take collision off of that. So back in the destination marker, just make sure we're not playing. In the cylinder, we want to turn the collision to no collision. Now let's see what happens. Yeah, much nicer. Kind of follows the ground, whatever rotation the landscape's on, it kind of follows that. It does mean if we have a wall, if I drag a cube in, oops, not a scene capture, just a cube. We can technically put it like on the side of it, which might not be ideal, but we could adjust that later if we wanted to. I'm going to leave that for now because it's not a big concern. But yeah, we can move that around and the player will follow to whatever location it is. So that's that. Nice and quick, nice and simple. And I will see you for the next episode where, what are we going to do? I think we're about to dive into materials and get started on being able to see through the environment. So I will see you there for that, and have a good one.